Japan, over 1,000 years ago. A story of love, of longing, of moments that slip away as we begin to feel them. It is called the Tale of Genji. Considered the world's first novel, it was written in the 11th century by Murasaki Shikibu, a noblewoman of the imperial court, who witnessed this world from within. In this refined society, where noblemen moved between wives and consorts, the pursuit of love guided both public life and private desire. But this is not just a record of its time. It is a study of the human need to hold on to things that were never meant to stay. At the center of the story is Genji, known as the Shining One. He is admired by everyone, graceful, intelligent, and effortlessly charming. Yet, his life is defined by a deep shadow. His mother died when he was only a child, leaving a void that nothing can fill. And so, he begins a lifelong search for what he lost. He finds what he is looking for in a woman named Fujitsubo. She resembles his mother in both beauty and spirit, and Genji falls deeply in love. However, Fujitsubo is the emperor's wife, the wife of Genji's own father. Their relationship breaks the laws of their world and continues in secret. They even have a son together, a child who will one day become emperor while the truth remains hidden. For Genji, this love is a heavy burden, a mix of passion and permanent guilt. Years later, Genji meets a young girl named Murasaki. He brings her into his home and raises her, shaping her into his ideal companion. He wants to create something stable, someone who will never disappear. For a time, it seems he has succeeded. Murasaki is devoted and constant. But even this does not cure Genji's restlessness. He continues to move from one relationship to another, searching for a peace he can never quite name. As time passes, Genji gains status and power. To the outside world, his life looks complete. But inside, his perspective is changing. The bright colors of his youth begin to fade, and he begins to lose the people he loves most. When Murasaki dies, Genji finally understands the truth. Even the most precious connections cannot be preserved. Beauty is fleeting, and it never promised to stay. Then, Genji himself simply vanishes from the story. There is no final goodbye. He just fades away, as life often does. The narration shifts to Kaoru. He is officially Genji's son, but in reality he was born from a secret affair between his mother and another man. In a turn of poetic justice, Kaoru's life repeats the secrets of Genji's past. Just as Genji once betrayed his father by fathering a secret child, Genji is now the one being deceived. This hidden truth defines Kaoru's personality. While Genji was driven by desire, Kaoru is driven by doubt. He is serious, quiet, and constantly questions his own place in the world, as if he can feel the weight of the secret that created him. Kaoru is not alone. There's also New, Genji's grandson. These two men represent two different ways of living. Where Kaoru hesitates and thinks, New acts on impulse. One tries to understand life, the other tries to devour it. This chapter of the story is defined by a complex rivalry and a love for three sisters. It begins with the eldest, Jigimi. Kaoru falls deeply in love with her, yet he is so respectful and hesitant that he refuses to rush their connection. Unfortunately, this caution becomes a barrier. Before he can ever confess his true feelings, Jigimi dies, leaving Kaoru with an unfinished story and a love that never truly began. Haunted by this loss, Kaoru turns his attention to the second sister Nakano Kimi, but once again, Kaoru waits too long. While he overthinks, the impulsive Niu acts, winning her heart and marrying her instead. Finally, Kaoru discovers the third sister Yukifune. He is astonished by her, but not for who she is. He is struck by her resemblance to the first sister he had lost. Niu, Kaoru's eternal rival, pursues her as well, driven by his own restless nature and the desire to win. Trapped between Kaoru's cold obsession and Niu's intense passion, Yukifune feels she has no escape. In her despair, she attempts to end her life in a river. However, she survives and chooses to become a nun, withdrawing from the world of men forever. Through Genji and Kaoru, the tale reveals a bitter symmetry. Genji desired too much. Kaoru hesitated too long. One moved with a speed that burned, the other with a slowness that froze, and neither found lasting happiness. The tale of Genji offers no resolution, only recognition. It reminds us that we are shaped by what we lose and that we search for what cannot return. It shows us that our lives are a series of echoes, where the secrets of one generation become the burdens of the next. Ultimately, it suggests that everything we experience, love, beauty, connection, exists not because it lasts, but because it does not. Like cherry blossoms or morning mist, its value lies in the very fact that it must eventually fade.